We'll now. Alright, so now, let's get started on today's lesson. Okay, so of course, if you weren't here yesterday, not a big deal. Let's just talk about sit-up guard. Okay, so what is sit-up guard? Is when I go from being on my back to sitting up, and usually it's played with like a foot on this far leg so I can manage distance. I can play with far sleeve, okay, so the arm farthest to me, I can pass it. I can play with cross sleeve, or some people call this the near side sleeve. I can use lapels, I can use belts, so there's a lot of versatility to this guard. Now what makes this guard really good is it threatens both me wrestling up as well as the more traditional jiu-jitsu sweeps. Now for today, since yesterday we did far sleeve control, we're going to look at near sleeve control. Okay, now just a generic position, I could be starting from double sleeve, foot on the hips, foot on the biceps, whatever it is. From here, we're going to transition off to that same position from the warm-up where I get De La Hiva. And now I'm going to pass this sleeve off and pass my hand to the pants. Now, whenever I play this cross grip, it's important that I don't give him access to my collars. Okay, so the second I start to pass this off, I'm always actively dragging his arm across his body so that he can't face me. I mean, he can still face me, go ahead and face me, but I make it more challenging so that he can't get control of my collars. If he does start to get control of my collars, I'm trying to always break and keep this away from him here. Now we're going to extend that leg just like we did previously, sit on up, and we're going to pass this over here. Now, as I pass this over, I like to really reinforce my own wrist. Sometimes I feel like when I pass, he like violently rips out. Like it could hurt my fingers. Okay, so I grab my own wristwatch. Now when he tries to pull out, you feel the difference. Now from here, our first sweep, we're just going to take our leg out, and we're going to fold our two legs like so. Now, usually there's going to be tension already in the sleeve, so tension, which allows you now to start sitting up or standing up into a wrestle up from here. Now, the second I come up to my 2 feet, I'm going to drive my shoulder into his upper thigh and take him where he has no base like so. And now we're in top position, we can start passing. Okay, so we have our first sweep. We start a generic open guard. I go De La Hiva, I pass and I start dragging, and I get control of his pants here like so. Okay, I don't like to stay here too long because you can kick his leg free, so right away I grab and control. I start stretching, pass it, okay, so go 2 hands on one, then grab my own wristwatch. So when he tries to pull away, it's tough. As I feel that pull away, that's what I'm looking for. Like when you're statically drilling, it's kind of hard to feel that. So ask him to pull away, and as he pulls away, that's when I switch my feet to the outside, and I use that tension to help me come up. Now I immediately start driving into him, and as I feel him stepping, I drive my shoulder and bring him down to the floor. Okay, if you've never done this, just stop here. My colored belts, keep control of this. Start walking and going into like smash passes and leg sweeps. So one more, a little bit faster. I'm here, De La Hiva, start dragging, pass the sleeve, he pulls away, I use that, and sit him down, right into my passes from here. All right, 3, 2, 1. Try to keep this leg until you have secured this here. Okay, we'll talk about why in a sec, but generally the principle is if I lose this leg as I'm feeding this, like my partner can start driving into me, and before I feed this, like it can become troublesome. Now he can start smashing me. Okay, so I try to keep this as long as I can until I can pass this over. Now, even if I do lose this leg, I can sometimes wrestle up, but like I said, they'll drive this knee into my chest, and it's not the end of the world because now I have good control of this here. In fact, sometimes I invite that. I keep my knees to my chest, and I grab the inside of the pants here with my palm facing up. Okay, so don't try to grab the knee here. It's kind of awkward if I go palm down. I go palm up. I like literally slap his knee and just uppercut the grip. Now I can flip my partner over a lot of times like so. Now that's like a proactive way of doing this. You can also do it reactively, right? Like let's say I was feeding, he steps over my leg. As he's smashing me, I make sure I keep my knees to my chest. I grab everything, and now I can take him over from here. Now, it's sometimes hard to get to the leg weave from here, so my colored belts, like I like to over-under pass from here, or maybe I'll start long stepping. Okay, so one more time. The whole thing, from the beginning, I had double sleeve. I go de la Hiva. Okay, don't let him anchor his hands. Okay, if he anchors his hands, it's going to be hard to do so. So I keep everything moving away from my collars. Stretch. Okay, now before I can tuck into my wrestle up, he starts driving into me. Okay, maybe he'll post on your shoulder to try to put you on your back. I use that momentum against him here. And now I kind of read the situation. If his knees are upward, maybe I'll try to fold them. Otherwise, I'll go right into my over-under. Okay, so full speed. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Cool. Okay, so now let's troubleshoot some things that can go wrong. Okay, so sometimes when I'm playing this and I get far sleeve control, they'll hunker down and make this grip. So now if I try to hit the sit-up guard, like this is, he's just pushing my chest and he's hung. So I have to abandon my pants control. Okay, now if I do so, make sure I keep a strong hook. I don't want to abandon this and just give him the freedom to walk around with my guard with his legs straight. So I'm going to go 2-on-1 and I'm going to try to break this grip. Now, instead of coming back to the pants, not that it's wrong, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll transfer my arm to the outside and I'll get control of the tricep grip here, right where the jacket is, okay? And now from here, I don't hesitate. I'm going to drag his arm and I'm going to, for lack of better words, violently extend this leg out like so, okay? Now, that's the most common reaction I get is a post because, sometimes they might fall on their face in sparring, but most of the time they post and I use this to sit up, okay? From here, I let go of the tricep, but I still keep the sleeve. And just like the first move, my feet go to the outside and I use this to come up and get behind my partner here, okay? Now once I'm behind him, I throw my far hook in, nice and shallow, and my other hook stays long. Now I just pull the sleeve away so I can break him down and get behind him, okay? Now, when you do this, okay, people don't want to give up their back. So a lot of times what will happen is as you try to come up, they'll put their back on the floor as well, right? So I'm here, he anchors down, so now the sit-up guard's not the best option. I break, 2-on-1, tricep control. I extend, I force him to post. As I'm sitting up, look, I'm penduluming and going here. As I start to sit up, though, a lot of times they won't want to expose their back, so they'll accept bottom position. And so this also allows you to come on top and sweep. You force them to either give up potentially their back or to just accept the 2 points. And now if they do accept this, I like to keep this 2-on-1 control, and I don't even let him recover this hook. The second I come up, I start knee slicing with this 2-on-1 control. So again, he has this grip, so now it's hard to get sit-up sweep. Oh, it's tough. No problem. I break, pummel my arms to the outside of his arm. Okay, if I stay here, he just grabs the collar again. So I break, get to the outside. When he tries to get the collar grip, it's tough. Drag and push. Option 1, we get behind him, we take the back. Notice his hook is shallow, this hook is deep. And now I just pull the sleeve away, take his back. Option 2, he feels the back exposure coming, so he accepts the 2. Break, pummel, no problem. He faces me, maybe he frames the guard. It's hard with one hand. I can knee slice through and end up on top. All right, 3, 2, 1. So now let's put things together. Okay, we'll start standing. We'll go 1 for 1. We'll try to make it more realistic with the drilling. Okay, so we'll come out. I'll get my grips. I'll pull guard. Get to my position. And I'll start drilling any of the moves from today. Maybe I couldn't break the grip, or maybe I can't get the sit-up guard. Try to give each other different looks. If I feel like I really can't break this grip, I can go back to yesterday's moves as well. And go, okay, so again, have like different resistance levels, nice and light, but try to start standing. I make my grips, pull guard. Okay. We'll try to make it like a little realistic and get a nice flow going. If you want to connect right into your passive or submission, you totally can. We'll do one continuous drill. I'll give you guys like 6 to 8 minutes, and then we'll start positional sparring and then regular sparring. All right, 3, 2, 1.